to Streamline Builds. Here's an update video on the Scout. And the reason I haven't really posted anything in a while is because it's been so tedious and time consuming. I've been working on the Supra, doing a lot of other stuff on my house and my girlfriend's house, and a lot to this too, but it's just been awful. Worst experience of my life. I mean, I've built so many other cars and done this motor swap too to classic cars before. Not had so many issues. This thing has just been a nightmare. But it's getting close. I mean, I've got a lot of progress. If I really think about it, it's hard to stay motivated because every time I do anything, it's like it just falls off. Something happens. Like I complete one task and two others arise that just set me back. So it's been tough. It's cost me a lot of money too, like screwing stuff up, getting the wrong stuff, and just taking too long to figure it out before, I can't ship the stuff back or anything like that. It's been an ordeal. And one example, perfect, it's right here. This intake pipe. This is for the airflow meter adapter, and I cut this pipe down I had. It fit perfect on the turbo. It's 4-inch. I got that little air filter for it. Got a just a little rubber sleeve, whatever it's called, put on there. And I don't know what I was thinking, but apparently I thought this was stainless, and this is stainless. This is aluminum. I do not know how my steel wire, I was actually able to start welding this, but yeah, it just melted and disintegrated. So I ordered another one, and I'm just going to JB weld that on because there's not any pressure or anything. It's just holding an airflow meter. We've got, for the first time since I've owned it, I actually took it outside last weekend, and me and my girlfriend just kind of like cleaned it up. I tried to wet sand a couple spots just to see how it was going to look, and mainly on this side. Why is it so dark? Come on. And I pulled the fenders off. This fender had pretty good dent crease right here. I tried to clean it up. It's a little better. Ended up snapping my Scout emblem, but I JB welded her back together, I'm losing enough money. I don't need to be buying new emblems. So did that. The reason I took the fenders off, I cleaned all the mud and dirt out of everything. I got these little air extractor things installed. They were missing. We got our new headlights, LED headlights in, grill, everything final mounted. There was one bolt holding each fender this whole time. Nothing was like secure because I knew it was all gonna have to come apart, but I'm actually trying to put it together for real this time. We got the front mount intercooler installed, blow off valve, which was so hard to get clamped in. Got the radiator final mounted with some extra brackets there. It's bolted into the frame, cross section, and then these upper mounts on either side. This intercooler pipe, not exactly a dream come true opening I made there, but it was very difficult to figure out exactly where it was going to come through, and I just worked with what I had, tried to figure it out. This side, I mean, that one is a dream come true. Nailed it first time. And the turbo is pretty much final mounted. We got our oil inlet. I did a drain down to the pan. We've got hoses going to the radiator. That one I'm going to be adding a coolant sensor in the center of it. What else? We got our water lines going in also to the turbo and coming out here, back. The wiring has been kind of laid out but not finalized. It's kind of tough, but wheels are on, everything's finished with that. The brakes work solid, the steering works solid. Once I got the radiator and all that final mounted, I was able to kind of get the power steering line ran through, which was real tough. Tell you, this is definitely a 5 pounds worth of stuff in a 2-pound bag. It's all getting pretty tight. We were able to get some seats from a early Bronco and had to do a little trimming on these side posts because the seat was about an inch, 3/4 of an inch wider than the Scout seat, but otherwise that one will flip up forward so people can get in and out easily. I liked that. And we've got, there was vinyl flooring in here. I ordered new dark gray vinyl flooring, and I'm going to lay all that in. Probably put some kind of a bed liner coating or something on the floor here first to protect it. Where the old gas pedal was, there's these crazy holes. I'm going to have to weld those up. And I'm going to be getting a new Toyota, like a Camry gas pedal I need like a 50-inch long accelerator cable. I got this new gauge bezel. It's aftermarket because I figured since this is right-hand drive, it's a little, everything's kind of flipped. So this is offset, and I was able to just flip it over. It's basically exactly the same either side, whereas the stock one is like stamped steel, so it's different. And it had a huge hole in it for the shifter, which I did not want because I'm going to be putting a shifter, just a stock Toyota floor shifter with a little console and 2 cup holders there. I'm planning on doing just like a little cover plate for this, and then I'm going to build my own console, which is going to be very interesting. I've got some fun ideas for that, to just calling back to what this vehicle was, you know, a mail delivery vehicle. So that'll be cool. And let's see, I've got a heater set up for this. I've got a little Bluetooth radio. Behind here is the factory like cutout for the radio, but it's like, you know, an old school radio cutout. I don't know if I want to put the radio there and cut it, you know, I wouldn't really want to do that. My plan originally was just to throw it in the glove box area, and then I can use this speaker area, mount a speaker there. I'm going to probably cut 2 speaker holes right in the sides on either quarter panel, and that's where the fuel tank goes, or did go, so it's closed off, so I can simply just put a speaker in there. I ordered some stainless boat cup holders. I'm going to drill 2 holes and put those in the tops on either side here, so you know, you can chill in the back and truly be chilling. What else have we done? We've got a Jeep. I think it's a CJ-ish, TJ-ish. I don't know. It's for an 89, I think 87 to 90 fuel injected, 15-gallon Jeep fuel tank. I got the factory skid plate and mocked all these things up, put it in, and had it fully installed already. See, I've got my little brackets with spacers here, and then in the back I welded in an L-angle 1/8" 2x2 with those 4 holes, or 3 holes, I don't know, I thought there was 4, it's 3, going across to hold the back. And then here is where it got tricky, because I needed to make room for that 1-inch fuel filler neck, which is stupid tiny. I ordered an older tank first, but trying to get the fuel injection stuff to work was just too difficult. So as you can see, you don't have any space here. It was not even a finger width. I heated up all this and bent all of it up a little bit with blocks of wood and a jack to kind of pull the floor pan up a little. And since it's going to be covered with a new vinyl floor, and I'm going to use stainless bed railing across the back to hold it down, front and rear. And then I'm going to use a blazer, like a square body blazer, has a fuel cover. So I ordered one of those. That's going to go on and just screw in, cover our hole we made here, look totally legit. And then I was going, and I might still have to do this eventually, but I was going to make another hole here to make just simple straight down fueling, but our fender wells are so large, I figured it's not an issue to just run straight from here over, then have to do like a hard line bend up and then come over to this is a Jeep fuel neck, so we'll hook onto that with some 1-inch line and just kind of leave that one, I think probably open the spillover, because whatever, I don't really care if it spills over, and if it does then it's more of like a breather anyways. But I had to drill it out, or I used a sander to like sand it out just about 1/8 of an inch to get this one to fit. It was pretty close, and I got a locking gas cap with that, so obviously I'd rather use the stock fuel filler and instead of drilling new holes. But like I said, this is where the stock tank would go, is in there. Small little tank, not set up for fuel injection either. I'd rather have an intake pump than otherwise. But like I said, that's all sealed up both sides. I have the same thing in case you had saddle tanks, so we can run our speakers in there, try to use this space as we can. Like I said, I tried to wet sand this old Star kind of down and off here a little bit, and clean this up. You can see the difference in the color, so this will all kind of clean up the same. That's still really rough, and this is a lot smoother. So I think I did the same on the fender, kind of cleaned it up. This is the second paint job somebody put on, this lighter blue, and I ordered a can of pre-mixed original dark blue paint just to try and clean up this area a little bit. I pulled some of the dents out from underneath. I was able to get in there with a pry bar and just kind of push some of this stuff out. It was dented in pretty badly. You can see where somebody had done some work on it before with what looks like lead and some Bondo. And then this side kind of, pretty worn out. The paint where the Bondo was, it's thin, but it's very cracky. So that's the part I really wanted to like try to wet sand some more of this newer blue off and try to just blend this as much as I can and get it looking decent. But anyways, there we are. We've got all mechanical gauges, all brand new. So mechanical, speedo, we got our fuel gauge, oil pressure, water temp, and battery. I'd probably like to have a boost gauge like initially, just when starting this thing, running it the first couple times, just so I can make sure it's not going to overboost or whatever. And because we're going to be running just like aftermarket wastegate and all those things, I want to see how much boost pressure it's producing, and we don't want to blow the engine up on the first time out. So I might just leave one like loose, order one, a cheap one, $10 or $20, whatever I can find, and just leave it just sitting here loose, just so I can check it. And then I don't know if I'm worried about the AFRs, like the air fuel ratio, if I really need to check that and look at it. I mean, Obviously, it ain't going to be right. We're running stock ECU, aftermarket turbo, and all kinds of things. It's not going to be terrible because I'm not trying to overbuild it or anything like that, but it's not going to be right, and who cares, you know? As long as it runs clean enough and works properly and doesn't overboost, I'll be happy with that. So next, we're going to try to dig into all this. I've got it kind of set up with our wiring so we can just temporarily check the motor and see if it runs. We've got a whole new wiring harness and all the things, and I just kind of went through and hooked up what was needing to be hooked up for power and ground, temporary and untemporary, just kind of, so you can see here, like this will crank the engine over. So we'll see if we can shove something in the intake, get it to run, see if this motor will pop off or do anything. Got some fogging oil down in the intake right there. Tried to spray some starting fluid in the turbo, but obviously we'd have to go all the way through the intercooler to make something happen. So let's see if we get any kind of movement here. Oh, it ran, holy balls. Dude, that's awesome. I've been doing all this work for months. It's been 6 months since I started this project, and I had no idea even if this motor was any good. It felt okay. So we're gonna try a little fuel this time. I don't know if it'll make it in there, maybe. Oh yeah, all over the intake, perfect. Incoming. Oh, yes! Woo! That was way better than the starting fluid. I like it. Or fogging oil. Starting fluid, I don't think ever made it from the turbo down through, but that was a pretty good run.